this is a good segue into something that I wanted to address that everybody has really been addressing, and that is the treatment of women in the workplace, right? And so you speak of these industries and knowing what you're getting yourself into, doing the research when you are applying for jobs or, negotiating for jobs. But what about women who are already in these positions and have, been steadily climbing the ladder and then find themselves in an uncomfortable environment with their male counterparts who may be acting inappropriately. And these women feel like, this is wrong. I should speak up, but I'm afraid of risking my job. I'm afraid of putting my livelihood on the line. And I did, a little personal poll asking people, in my social media circles, what are some of the issues that you dealt with at work as a woman that you think are really prominent? And I was really surprised to get one response from a woman saying, she was blacklisted at work for just asking the manager not to allow them to play music that denigrates women, that puts women down, and was even passed up for promotion because of that. How do you advise your clients to combat that sort of culture in the workplace as a young woman? And how can we use lessons of women in previous generations and apply them to these situations now?
Yeah. Well, what I would say is that our voices have power. So what I would advise is if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable in the workplace, let them know, first and foremost. Sometimes they're fully aware of it. Sometimes they're not even aware of it. It doesn't mean that it's okay, but just to let them know. I mean, sometimes you're working in an industry or an organization that is filled with many different cultures, people from all over the world. Again, that doesn't mean it's okay to make someone feel uncomfortable, but first and foremost, using your voice to empower yourself, to let them know, hey, that's bothering me, or please don't do that, or that's not okay. Or I can remember years ago, I had a manager in TV, and he was just a super friendly guy. He was nice with everybody, high-fiving, hugs, hand on the shoulder, men and women, doing the little work massage. And you know what? I was okay without the work massage. So I just simply said one day, I'm just not a massage kind of person. You never did it again. And that was just me letting him know. And that's just one instance. I know there are more serious instances, but just letting him know that, hey, I'm not into that. And he never did it again. We had a great relationship, still high-fiving people, and there you go.
Do you guys feel like women just the idea of women and having control over their bodies, do you feel like that issue has gotten better, improved, especially as somebody who used to be in TV and judged highly on your appearance? Or do you feel like we're slipping back? I can't tell because A, I wasn't working, 20 years ago. But B, it also seems like it's just so pervasive. And I don't know if it's because of social media or more awareness or that it is happening more.
Yeah, I would say because of the whole Me Too and Time's Up movement, that is really helping women to feel more comfortable with voicing opinions like, hey, please don't do that. Don't give me the mini massage or whatever the situation might be. I think that is very supportive for women in helping them be able to speak up and use their voices. Because at the end of the day, a good corporation or a good company wants people to be comfortable in their work environment so they can perform at a maximum level and get the results that they're needing, right? Mm-hmm. So they want people to be comfortable, and a good company and organization wants their employees to feel safe. So they want to know if something is happening where someone is not feeling safe.
Yeah, and I think obviously there's tons of negative examples that are coming out more and more, so it can seem like, oh, if I say anything, like this terrible thing's going to happen or I'm going to be ignored. But companies have their interest is to have their employees at their best interest as well. And so especially younger people, just realizing that you have the opportunity to shape culture. And depending on the size of the company you work at, if you're working at a small company, if you're working at a large company, maybe it's just the culture of your specific team. But right, speaking up and talking to other people is hugely important. I find that, again, a lot of younger people, or say that in the FindSpark community, because we grow up so much with texting and emailing and that sort of thing, they're not as comfortable talking face to face. And that's a shame because, again, you want to give these companies an opportunity to make changes. You want to give bosses an opportunity to make change. Like, I feel like I hear more often than not, like, people have an issue at work and then they all of a sudden start job hunting, and you'll say, oh, well, did you talk to anybody about it? And the answer is no. So, just using your voice, realizing that you can shape the culture, and that companies, want to get, all levels of employees involved in making positive changes.
Yeah. Crystal, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, I really agree with everything I've heard. The only thing I would add is that it can also be really valuable to have a mentor that you can really align yourself with, whether male or female, just to have these conversations with someone who you feel comfortable with, someone who you can be sort of open about. Obviously, if it's a woman, that adds an added layer where if she's been at the company for a long time and you have issues, she may have specific insight into how you can best navigate those things. What has allowed her to be successful and reach a certain level of success within the company. And I think that's something that a lot of millennial women really want and are lacking, and I think could really, really be helpful, in a lot of these situations.